Good afternoon. And today is Sunday. It's Palm Sunday. Oh, how I love getting my palms on Palm Sunday. But there won't be any today because people won't be going to church to get them. But we're going to do the best we can and manage as we can anyway. Today's the day that we celebrate the triumphant arrival of Jesus in Jerusalem. Excuse me. And all the people cheered and they threw down branches, palm branches on the road that he would be able to walk, his donkey would be able to walk with him sitting on the back, and his feet would not touch the ground. That was a sign of respect and royalty. And everything was so wonderful and exciting, and one would think, what not good could come of this? In fact, when his apostles were told to quiet down, not his apostles, his followers, all the people cheering and coming in, and the other people said, stop making all that noise. And Jesus said, you know what? Even if nobody said a word, the rocks would call out joy. Today we're going to take a metaphysical look at Sabbath. And don't tune out because you're afraid you're not going to like it, because this is going to be very good. First of all, I want to tell you a story. I always like to kind of update you on where I am. Number one, you've heard me repeat many times that I could work on patience. Patience is not one of my gifts. I'm having to earn that one. So the first thing in patience that didn't work for me was when I got the camera. And you've watched me every day. I fight between the camera and the phone and whether something's going to be frontwards or backwards. I went out and I got that camera so that would be solved, and I did battle for all these days. And then I found out that I already have a program in my computer that can flip the video. So basically, I bought a camera that I didn't use. But I believe in divine order, and that camera came to me for a reason, whatever reason that may be. I may go on Route 66 again and be really glad if I bring it with me. Or maybe I'll use it as a gift to someone who I think would like it a whole lot more than I would. Today's word for Palm Sunday is Hosanna. Hosanna, what a great word. I don't know if you've ever seen the play or the movie, Jesus Christ Superstar. And you know, everyone's cheering and they're going, hey, Zanna, Hosanna, Sanna, Zanna, hey, Zanna, Hosanna, hey. And then Jesus is called a superstar. That a few days later wound up crucified. However, he rose. But we're not going to go there today. That's another whole day. Today we're looking at that joy of knowing we've got a spark of divinity in us that we call the Christ, and that's really exciting. And so we too can do everything and rise up about what we have, over whatever we have to. Then I'm going to tell you a very human story of me. I might as well get it out of the way fast because it talks about human nature. Excuse me, I'm sorry, frogs. So this morning, yesterday I told you I went to the grocery store and I got all these groceries. Some people might have seen the picture I posted on it. I'm going to post it again anyway, because I had to bring all my groceries in, sanitize everything, make sure it was safe, and so I had all these groceries in the refrigerator and the freezer and all over the counter because I hadn't yet gotten to putting them away. Well, the day went on, and at one point I realized not only did I not have any breakfast, I didn't have any lunch. And it was getting on to supper time. And I looked around and I said, oh. And I got up and I went to the refrigerator. And I opened the door. huh. And I looked at the food on the counter, and huh. And I looked underneath the cupboard, and huh, there's nothing to eat. I just paid almost $300 for groceries, and there's nothing to eat. Well, two things. Number one, there wasn't anything I felt like eating at that moment. Number two, there was nothing prepared. I would actually have to fix it. Now, I like to cook. What I did is I waited too long and got too hungry before I thought about eating. Again, that's something we want to think about. You know, at the root of our problems, 99 out of 100 times, is our self. So when you're having a problem and you're thinking about it and saying, huh, where did that come from? Look at how maybe yourself is a part of how that happened. All right, so today we're going to talk about the metaphysics of Sabbath. Sounds kind of deep, doesn't it? It is so much easier to really understand, and when you see that the Sabbath was given to us not as a means of control, to control us or to make us worship, go to church. It depends what faith group you're from. I mean, some, like the Eastern Rite Catholic, their services, it's no big deal if it's 3 hours long. Back in the days of early America, people would go to church for the day. That preacher would preach all day. Noontime, they'd take a break, and they'd go out and do what's called dinner on the lawn. And they would spread out blankets and have picnics, and after they were done eating and stretching a little bit, they'd go back in and they'd be preached at for the end of the day. Well, I have no intention of preaching at you for the day. This is just, what I want to do is I want to give you a blessing of Sabbath. One of the most popular stories in the Bible is about how Jesus and his apostles were out doing what they do, and the apostles got hungry. And so they went, excuse me, they went and they picked grain to eat. Somebody saw them and said, oh, it is the Sabbath. What are you doing eating grain, picking grain? You're not supposed to be picking grain. It's the Sabbath. And then Jesus told them, wait. One of the things he said is if it was the Sabbath and your donkey fell into quicksand, would you pull him out or would you let him drown? He said, man was not made for the Sabbath. The Sabbath was made for the man. So if you're looking at a piano, man was not made for the piano. The piano was made for man. And with that piano, the man can do wonderful things. And by observing Sabbath, we can do wonderful things. The Sabbath is called the Day of Rest. And it is a day that we are told to rest, relax, worship, and focus on good things and God. Now, the law got into that pretty heavily, and some people who are very orthodox would do things like they would even take a roll of toilet paper. Now we have to say if you had one, and they would measure off how much each person would need over the weekend. And that was so that absolutely no work would be done on the Sabbath. Can you imagine? It sounds a little strict, doesn't it? Yet, the Sabbath is a law. It's a law. It says you have to remember to keep holy the Sabbath day. Well, try to look at it not as a law, but as a gift. What happened is we took this, I don't like to call them, we call them commandments, but I don't like them to be called commandments because it sounds like it's imposed instead of giving us an opportunity to expose good, okay? So anyway, so you say, well, why does that law exist? What is in that? I mean, is God, what do you call them, a narcissist? And wants to be told, hey, you're wonderful, thank you, help me, I beg you, I'm nothing, I'm not worthy. When we give someone a gift, if we really love them and pay attention, we give them a gift they want. You know, you don't want to give someone you love a gift they don't want. So we are given a gift that we want. We don't always recognize it as a gift. We feel we have to go do this, and it's going to be. What if we tried to take that whole concept? Every word that we speak has a picture, okay? So when you hear the word Sabbath, what do you think? Do you think, I gotta work hard, I gotta go to church, I've gotta be good, I gotta get dressed up, I gotta go and sit and listen to that preacher, rabbi, minister, yada, yada, yada. I don't get to stay in bed late. Okay, all of that is looking at Sabbath like it was a punishment. I'd like to invite you to look at it as a gift. I'm going to repeat that, hoping and hoping you'll get it. Imagine for just one moment if you observed the Sabbath. Today is the Sabbath. What do you have planned? Are you planning on cleaning the yard? Are you planning on doing some work? You took home from your job, if you're working at home, doing deep cleaning. What are you planning? What if you were to say that the Sabbath is my day? It's my day to rest, relax, and renew. You know, we're getting, some people are getting cabin fever. Governor Cuomo from New York spoke about that today. And he said there are signs of cabin fever that you have to watch out for because we've got to take care of ourselves. We want to come out of this victoriously. Some people, he said, that are experiencing cabin fever are feeling isolated. They're feeling like nobody cares. They're feeling miserable. Some people are starting to have mood swings. They'll be up, they'll feel strong, they'll feel wonderful, and they feel lousy. People that are at home with a group of other people, their family members or whatever, roommates, they may start to have those people get on their nerves. You know, why don't they just leave me alone? You might become irritable. So you've got all this stuff going on, and it's because we've been focused on everything that's wrong and not what's right. And we haven't had a lot of good to look forward to, every day. That's why we have to limit our news. And then, move on to something else. Today is a day, here in Connecticut, it's going to be nice. And so I can go out and walk. And I invite you to go out and take a walk, breathe the fresh air, get some vitamin D. We need that vitamin D. That is a part of Sabbath. A part of Sabbath is undeniably worship. Now, the word worship means worth-ship. What are you giving worth to? Are you so busy earning a living that you give up your life? Are you so busy trying to get, tools and toys and and have fun and stuff like that, that you're actually losing your family because you don't have the time to spend with them. You know, even people that are alone, me and my cat, I understand she's a cat, so I'm good with her. But if you're in a group, if you're in a family, you're probably irritating each other. Well, when you live alone, there's only one person to irritate you, and that is yourself. So I find I even get irritated with myself, because who else is there to blame for anything that's not going the way I want it? It is not a healthy state. Therefore, we have to look at ways to avoid cabin fever. And let's go back to it again. We have a gift. That gift is Sabbath. One thing that can ruin your Sabbath, excuse me, is the word should. You know, I don't encourage doing a lot of binge TV watching. One of the reasons is there's not a whole lot encouraging or uplifting in it. And you're sitting on your butt, and when you sit on your butt, you tend to get more lethargic, more lazy, sluggish. So that's not a good thing. So I try to encourage everybody to stay busy, go outside, have a purpose, have a routine. But can we take that out for the Sabbath? Can we have one day where we relax and where we enjoy the day when we binge watch something uplifting or positive? Please don't binge watch something that isn't positive. You will find yourself in a bad state. The first year I retired from pulpit ministry, the first Easter, I decided that I was going to take my Good Friday and dedicate it to focusing on what Good Friday is about, you know? So, I mean, the crucifixion in my house when my kids, when, you know, we were all home and everything, I always took the hours from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock, which were considered the hours that Jesus was on the cross, to be quiet. There's to be no talk, no playing. If you did anything, sit down and read a book. And I would play Jesus Christ Superstar on my record player. That's what we had in those days, record players. So I would put Superstar, and it was good for me. The kids hated it, but it was good for me. But when you listen to the words, I had some of my best ahas in the world by listening to those words. So I found a time to put in a little bit of focus on what the day was. So once I retired, and I wasn't doing a Tenebrae service or a Good Friday service of any kind, I decided what I was going to do was watch all my movies that related to Jesus' life, and you know, and I have a bunch of them that I recommend, but I'm going to tell you, don't watch them all the same day. You will come out of that day destroyed. Yeah, we all know how it ends, and it's uplifting, but one of the great stories is, The Body, which I can't tell you what any of them are about, because if I tell you what they're about, then you're going to miss the point. Of course, Jesus Christ Superstar. Of course, Godspell. And there is one, I am so sorry, I will put the name of the movie in the comments later so you can see it. Oh, I know, it was called, not The Passion, not that one is really, really heavy. It's called The Passion of the Christ, I think. I think that's what it is. And it's about a passion play in Canada. And parts of it are when they put the words in the subtitle. And but that was an amazing movie. But the mistake I made when I watched them all at the same time is I came out like someone had laid an anvil on my heart. That was not the way to do it. That was not the way to do a Sabbath either. You want to come out of Sabbath feeling good and feeling happy. You know, you've seen the 4 quadrants of consciousness every time I put them up there about the difference of lifting up your consciousness. And let's say we spend 6 days a week spending more time in lower consciousness. If we gave one day to prayer, relaxation, meditation, retreat, don't you think your life would change a lot? You know, we don't have to be in the gym all day to be strong, but we take a little every day. So Sabbath is a gift. It's a gift to make you happier, more relaxed. In these circumstances right now, it can fight cabin fever. It can keep you from becoming apathetic and lethargic and more encouraged, you know? To be apathetic is to lack enthusiasm. And the word enthusiasm means filled with spirit and energy. We are enthusiastic. Have you felt really enthusiastic lately? I'm seeing a lot of posts, people going, oh my God, this is awful. When's it going to end? If you keep focusing there, it ain't going to get any better. So if you want to be enthusiastic, I recommend a Sabbath. Take the day. Take some time to pray and meditate. Relax. Binge watch something positive. Another thing that I think would really be special is to make Sunday special in your house. To make it your home, well, even if you're alone, okay? Whatever circumstance, make a special supper. Get dressed up. Have you been dressed up since it started? Unless you're, you know, if you're not if you're not working every day, you know, then if you don't have to go to work, then chances are you probably got dressed. But what if on Sunday you got dressed up and you told everyone else in the family to get dressed up and made a special Sunday dinner and said grace at that dinner? See, the metaphysics of the Sabbath are to see that this is a gift that was given to us, not a constraint that is put on us. If you want to be happy, if you want to be stronger, this is one of the best tools you can give yourself one day a week. Can you imagine? Let's just the way it was generations ago. And some people do. The Orthodox people do definitely celebrate that today. What if we did? The whole world took a Sabbath. I remember days when you couldn't go to the liquor store on Sunday. I remember when a lot of stores were closed on Sunday. That took away, it was like we felt restricted. I can't go here, I can't do that. What it was, take a break from it. Take a Sabbath from spending money. Take a Sabbath from worry. Say, God is in charge. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to come out of this okay. So during the day today, I would like you to think about, I'd like you to take a Sabbath. You might already have so many commitments, you can't. But I'd like you to think about it and try it as we go through the rest of our time in distancing. You're never distant from God. God is everywhere present, including within your heart and spirit, and you have that spark of divinity. But I ask you to experiment. I would like to give you a gift. The gift of encouragement to practice Sabbath and see that it's not about being imposed, it's about the ability to expose all that you are. It's a good thing. You know, we all need to have something to look forward to these days. What if what you were to look forward to was the Sabbath? And what if you're with your family, what if you made that special dinner, getting dressed up, candlelight? It's a good thing, as Martha Stewart would say. So, on that note, I'm going to invite you to go off and enjoy your Sabbath. I am grateful beyond measure that you joined me today, and I will look forward to hopefully seeing you tomorrow. Have a great day, and God bless you good.